Stick around. Well, it's that time again. I want to see if I can get the main shell of this car finished in this video, okay? In the last video, I went and finished up the trunk floor, got the gas tank fitting, all that type of stuff. I got that done. What I'm left with now is I'm here. I have to do the dash. I have to do the rear package tray, which is this here, and the fuse box mount, and the computer mount. I'm going to make all that in this video and get this car done so then I can start moving on to do body work on this here. Let's start down here with the rear package tray. As you can see, it's all full of holes. I got to close all this off, reinforce it, and close it off into the cab here. So I got to put a piece right here as well, going right along to close off the driver's compartment to the back of the car, because if you have a battery explosion or you has a gas leak with a fire or anything like that, you need protection in the cab of the rig. So it's mandatory to have a firewall between the fuel tank and the driver's compartment. So some might say just cut all this out and weld in a whole new section. I sized it all up. Right underneath this here is the actual spring mechanism for these. I got the rods taken off. I want to retain all that. And I'm looking to retain the factory rear dash in this. I'm not looking to chop it all out of it and then put a whole new piece in there and trying to get it all fitting. All I'm going to do is make little panels to go in here, weld up all these small little holes, and close in the front here. Then it's done. What I tend to do here now is I got some complications around the roll cage. I'm going to leave that alone for now. What I'm going to do is I got a bunch of holes here that are just like random holes. Not that one there, but this one here, this one here. There's another one here, another one here, another one here, another one here, that type of thing. I'm going to go and weld all them up. Plus, I'm going to make little filler panels that'll go in here, okay? In these sections here to do them. I also want to cap over the top of these here. And these here, they move freely, but I want to have them closed off. So I'm going to make a little cap to go over the top of them there. So I'm going to start making all this stuff up. So I got them done. What I'm going to do here first now, before it goes any further, I still had to weld up a bunch of small holes. I'm going to do that with a bit of brass. But I want to finish this off, so I'm going to go ahead and grind all these up. And I'm going to use a small stone on these here because of the curved edge. I could probably use a flat pad here. But these here were on a rolled edge here. They're going to be hard to try to get in there with a ground pad, so I'm going to do a little grinding stone. Okay? So I'll get all them done first before I start welding all these up. There they are, all grinded up. All looking best kind. Just looks tidy to me. Like, you know, seeing the original indents with a cap in it, you know, it just looks nice. Now that I got this done, I got to start welding up all these holes that are around here. And all I'm going to use there, a piece of brass, put it on the bottom side of it. And I'll hold it underneath the bottom side of it, like so. And then weld that up. Lots of grinding, but I got it all nice and smooth now. A lot of work I'm putting into this, but I'm pleased with how it's coming out. It still has that factory appearance to it. The next thing now, I got a couple more things to do here first. I got to cover in these things here. Not going to worry about them, but these here now are going to be a bit tricky because the original speaker hole. Someone might have said, well, why didn't I just move the roll bar back so it went through the speaker hole? The problem with it is if I had to move the roll bar back, this point here would have been out here somewhere. Okay? And if I don't want to put a bend in that bar, okay? So that's the reason for that. That here passes through the front section of the actual speaker hole. Like this hole here runs down around here somewhere. Oh, that's it. I gotta make a cover piece now, or a piece to go in there. That'll fill all that up. And so I'm gonna sit down now and take cardboard and draw something out, cut everything out, trim everything up. All I'm doing is just sliding it in, trimming it up, fitting it, trimming it up, fitting it, right? So I'm just going to go get something cut out there now and fitting in there. So here's what I got done. I turned around and I started over there. And I kind of got carried away with it. As you can see, this is the template for the other side. So I said to myself, went over there and I made the piece and I got it fitting and I modified it and fitted it, got it in there. And then I realized, ooh, I never filmed nothing. So let's do this side. Alright, so I got the template cut out. This slides in this way here. That's the way that'll go. I'll take this now and transfer it to steel. So I went ahead and cut the piece out and I marked it. What I forgot to do is that I'm putting a bend on this end here. So I had to add an inch here, but I have enough back here to get away with it. And what ended up happening is when I marked it out, that's the way I drew it out on the thing. But then I realized that I got to move it back. So I just overlapped it and done it like that. So that'll be my first bend there. What I have now done from there is I have this piece here left from the car. I can't find the other one. I was going to reinstall it again, but the problem with this roll cage goes through right this section, right through here. And it's kind of hard to try to fool around with all that, so I just soon go ahead and bend it up. But this shape here is not what I'm after now. I'm trying to get all this bent up. So I come over here and I just marked it out. All my bends here, laid it here, laid it there, laid it there. Marked out the bends here, along here. Then I took a piece of cardboard and duplicated them onto that. Moved that over to the other side. Like so. Everything's in my way. Let's get this so you can see it there. There you go. And I put that like that. And then I marked them over here. Then I took the grinder and I cut little notches in them. So they're all the same. So that way you can see them on both sides. There you go. You can see all the notches there and all the notches there. So now I'll go over the brake and I'll start bending this up to look like this here. All I do is I just line up my little cut marks. So bend this one here. I'll bend this one here next. So let's leave it this way. So there's the piece that I was trying to duplicate, this over here onto this tray. And this here kind of like it goes wide here and then it closes off because of the way the speaker hole was doing. But I decided to just go straight across with it. That's the reason why it is like it is. And then I just had to play around, clean up the hole and everything a bit. So let's go over for a test fit now. There you have it. What I want to do now is I want to mark this right along here. Mark these holes, and then I'm going to trim everything up in there so it looks best kind. I got this made and put in place here, and I'm not liking this gap. It looks fine from there, but when you get in close and start looking into it, you can see both sides. I'm not liking it at all. I'm debating whether I'm going to weld a piece in it or just make a whole new panel. Yeah, I'm going to go fix that. All my issues are from here back. So this is what I done. Scrap piece steel, went over and I bent it up. And laid that there like so, marked it around. I'm going to trim that off. I'm just going to weld that back on there again. And I'm going to recut it. That's all I'm going to do with that. And there you go, look, gap be gone. See if I can trim that up now so I don't fool it up this time. That's a lot better. Fits snug around the bar and everything there now. Weight steps out, nice and smooth. I got all the holes drilled for these now, put in place. The other one was made. I'm going to fine tune this one here. Nope, they're not the same. This one here sits back farther. And that's the reason why I haven't got to worry about none of this, because the bar is in the way there. This one here, for some reason, is back farther. I've been measuring the dashes and stuff like that, trying to find out where the problem's to, and it might be in the roll cage, I don't know. But not going to lose no sleep over it. The other one comes back to here, which moves this section up here farther into the bar a small bit. So, but that's it. I get the cover over, that'll be brand new. You won't notice anything. So I'll get them in place there now, get them welded in. There you have it, all welded in. Anyway, I got them done. Now, I think I'm going to go on to this section in here and close that off there. This is the last section of piece that I got. This is the biggest piece of all them white sheets that I used on that car. This is all that's left, okay? I would like to have it another 4 inches longer. I'm not going to worry about it. I had to do this here because I got wheel tubs to deal with. And I'm going to have a panel joining right here. This will be in the middle itself. What I did is I made up this little template, okay? This will sit in the car like so and come up over the back dash and weld on. Okay, I got the little roll put on the top. You see me make that roll on the trunk drop off, so I'm going to do the same thing on the top of the dash as well. I was just going to weld it on the front side first, but I said no, it's kind of, it'll probably look a lot better if I had something like that on the top side of it. Give it a bit more strength and everything. So I got to take this here now, and this is how wide it's going to be. This is as big as I can get it. And I'm going to measure up here, cut that off, and put a bead on it here in the end. And I'm probably going to put 2 beads right, one here and one here. Have that as well. And the bottom I'll just leave it alone, I'll just bend that over on a 90. And that would be sort of like that there, going over. So let's get this cut out. So I got the piece cut out, and I'm here sizing things up. I want to put the bead on the top side and do the roll over and the roll over on the bottom. The problem I'm having, if I runs a bead up through here, going through here, it's going to interfere with this top roll. I'm going to have troubles doing the roll and won't look right on these ends and everything. So, and I don't want this top roll to be too big, or the actual lip itself, when it rolls over to actually weld on. So I made it smaller. Usually I've been putting a bead in at 1 inch, but I made it smaller. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one first and roll it over and have it done. That way I can see, I might just run this through the bead roller separately, up as far as it can go, even with the bend in place. So you can see a nice little rolled edge on it, going along it there. That'll be the top side. That'll weld onto the top of the dash, and this will roll over and go down. What I got to do now is I'll measure from here down, and I might put the beads in this first. So I put beads in the end of it, and you can see they stopped up here because the way I went and done it, I didn't want to roll full to this edge here, and I got this going down here, it gives the strength there, and done it on both sides. And then I turned around and I bent over the bottom edge. So now I got the panel made. I was debating on where to put beads in this or not, but what I noticed in the build is that other than the trunk drop-offs, any visual sections inside the car that are vertical, there's no beads on them, okay? Other than the far wall, got a couple of small beads. Start test fitting this now because I got to trim up these corners. So I marked it out and I trimmed it up, test fit it, come back, trimmed it up, test fit it, come back, trimmed it up, test fit it, come back, trimmed it up. And then I finally test fit it. So this doesn't look like I just went over maybe a couple of cuts, bump, and then it went. I've after test fitting this now 3-4 times and trimming this each time to get it. So I'll show you what it looks like in the car. Here it is in place. You can see how it fits around the roll cage on both sides. And this is what I like about it up here, is this little lip. Then I'll go around here and I'll weld that on along there now. And that one there will be in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a second one of these. Because I want to have the roll on the top. I'm going to cut out another panel, same as that, and roll the top on it. Because I got to cut it in half and put a piece of it here and a piece of it over here. But instead of making 2 individual pieces, I'm just going to make another one just like this. Identical to it. And I'm just going to cut it in half. That's all I'm going to do. And then have one for one side, one for the other side. So I went ahead and I bent up another section. Used the exact same process as I done with that. I never tried to reinvent the wheel. I didn't try to improve on it. If I did something that I didn't think was right, I done the same thing on this one. So I made the 2 panels. I got both of them done. And a reason why I made another panel like this here, because I wanted to be consistent. I find that shorter pieces in the bead roller or in the brake bends different than long pieces. So if I was to cut off 2 short pieces and bend them up, these rolls on the top would have been different. But because I made the exact same piece again, everything's fine. All I'm going to do now is cut it in half and have a piece for one side and a piece for the other side. So I got the 2 pieces cut out and I got the overlapping on the ends. So this side here will be for over here. What I did then is I clamped 2 of them together. I flipped it over and I marked it out. And then I continued on and just roughly marked out where it would have went on this here, because this is going to have to fit around the roll bar pipe, and I can cut this piece out. What I'm going to do now next, brace yourselves, I'm going to make templates. So I cut out a piece of paper that is the height of the panel, and then from the end of the inside the car to where I wanted to overlap. So I started off with this piece here. Now I got to cut this, fit it, so it got this curvature from the wheel tub in it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all trimmed up and get it all cut out. So that there fits where I want to go, and then I can transfer it over onto this one here. As you can see now, I got to cut a bit more off of this. I'm going to leave it alone for now. I'm just going to mark it there with a pencil, and that way it'll give me something to go by. And I can get this here marked up and trimmed up. Simple little template. I went over and trimmed it and fit it and trimmed it and fit it and got it in there. So I cut too much off spots and I had to add the tape on them again to get it all set up. But here's what we got, okay? I got to trim this off here now and up along here, cut off this corner here, and hopefully this will fit. Ooh, I'm going to leave the line there and leave the line there and leave the line there. That way I got some room to fine tune it. Let's get this cut out. Well, that fits good. Had a bit of trimming and fitting to do to it, but I got it eventually. What I got to do now is I got to make a lip to go here. So I'm going to find some scrap steel now, find out this measurement here, and cut out a strip about this wide, because I want to be able to lay this right on top of it and push down on it so I can actually weld it on here and have it on the angle it's got to be on the actual wheel tub. So I get a piece dug out for that now. And there it is, all done. Trimmed it all off. You see nice little angle it's on. Put all of the plug welds in it. Get it ready to install. And there it is installed. How nice it fits to the wheel tub. All the way down through there. Come up with the spot weld on along there. And up and along here, it'll weld on. So I got that one done. I went ahead then, got the center panel done, and went ahead and made the other side, and got that all made. And all fitting in place. So that's all ready now to install. I'll put in 2 plug welds, brand wheel welds there, along the top, down along the roll cage there, fits nice. Let's get them welded in. Now before I install that, I'm going to trim this up in here. You can see there's a lot hanging down. I want to trim this off along here. Down this corner here, do the same here in the middle, trim that off. I'll get that all trimmed off there now. So I'm here now, doing the final fitting on these here. I got it all set up here now, I got it screwed down. I got it in place here now, this is the first piece. And I got it all ready. I'm just going to go ahead and get all this welded in. And get them 2 side pieces welded in and get this done. Because this was a big undertaking. I still got to do some small pieces back here yet, but I want to get this done tonight. That's my goal. So I'm just going to go ahead, and when I bring you back, all this will be welded in. So I got them all welded in. All looks good there now. Welded all across there, everything grinded and dressed. See the way it goes in there? Nice and solid. Very pleased with that. I got a few more things left to do. Back here, I got to do these. I got to cap them in. And I got a couple of things up front to do. So I'm going to get started on these now and start capping them in. So here's what we have here. What we got going on here is a number of things, okay? We have it on an angle on the top side here. Then we got to bend it down here. Comes around here, it comes up. And if you look at it, it's not what you call a simple thing to make. Now you can get complicated with this and overthink this. I'm going to simplify this. Very simple. Make a nice little cover that's going to look like that there. That will fit on over the top of that. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to gather up some scrap steel and make something. So here's what I got. I just went around looking through my pile of steel, see what I can come up with. This is what I got. Let's start building something. Now, doesn't that look lovely? But you can see everything that's going on here. You've got a bunch of things going on. You got little bins up here. You got a roll over the top edge here. You got an angle up here, right? You got bins over here. Don't overthink the stuff. This here now took me all of 15 minutes to make. And that looks perfect. It's done. Bit of seam sealer now, that'll be all brand new. Right. So what I'm going to do here now, not going to bore you with all the welding stuff. I'm going to start welding this upwards too. Get some stuff welded up. I got to watch it down here, don't weld it to the car. But I want to get some of the welding done so it's held in place, because when you start to weld up these small panels, it'll all going to warp up on you. So I'll get so much of it welded up, and then when I get it welded up, I'll take it off and finish welding it up off the car and grind and dress it. Let's see what we can come up with here now. Now, doesn't that look wonderful? Boys, oh boys, Tony, what are you at it all? Ah, bear with me, people. Simple, fast, and effective. That's how I looks at all that. So I got it semi-welded up. I got some metal in the way there to do it, but I got it welded on the inside. Right? Oh, look at the lovely welds. Rolled nickels. Yes, hello. Rocks and bubblegum. That's all's on that. What I'm going to start doing now is trimming this up, so I can get it down to the actual size it's going to be and start cutting off some excess. I got to weld up the two ends here as well, but I got everything inside welded up, so that's good. I'm just going to start trimming this now and clean it all up. I left everything long. I never cut nothing off. I only cut stuff out of the way that I found was in the way for me to get down here and up here. And you can see that where I leave it long, you can actually weld out into the long piece, okay? That way when you cut it off, you got a nice crisp edge. Same with up here, okay? I'll cut a line straight across there, that'll be perfect. But that's it. I'm going to sit down now, grind all that up and dress it all up. You just look at that there now, and I'll show you that in a minute. Well, will you look at that? Pressed piece, hand formed, done on a brake, or done on a metal forming tool. There you go. Made a jig for it and stamped it out. But that's very, very simple, okay? I just looked at the time. I am just a tad over an hour making this from scratch, okay? That's putting it all together in the car, welding it all up, grinding it all up, dressing it all up, and getting it prepped to go in the car, okay? So, I think that's pretty good. Now, you see how crude that was when I started off. Around here, I got no one to go to for the real critiquing metal, okay? Everything I saw was either in magazines or on TV, okay? And it was only in the last 20 years that we actually started to see any automotive thing on TV, okay? One thing I noticed from magazines and from what I saw on TV, a good example is them motorcycle shows that were on probably 15 years ago. When they used to make gas tanks, how rough the gas tanks look when they were forming the tank, okay? It goes the same way when it came to manufacturing body panels. When guys would start making panels, the panels look really, really rough starting off, okay? I looked at that and I said, well, you know, if that looks like that, but then when it's all finished, you saw the outside of it, it looks perfect. The one thing you never ever saw was the inside of those gas tanks or the inside of those cars, okay? And that's what you're looking at. You're seeing the guys piecing stuff together, welding panels together. They put a half a quarter on, they put a top quarter on, they put a nose piece on it. The back side of that, you can see all the welding. The top side was all nice and smooth and dressed. That's the way they wanted to have it. This is the same concept. It's rough as anything to start with, but this is what you end up with, okay? You can overthink things. You can imagine trying to make a template for that and a template for this. Try to make all that in one piece, trying to cut the center out of it, then try to make all these shapes going in through here to make all this fit. Then you got these two angles, like when you lay this down, this is not straight across the top, see? So this had to come up and go into this on an angle. There's a lot going on. I broke it down, and all I did is I made it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. It's metal. It can be welded. That is now one piece, okay? Let's see what it looks like in the car. Well, looky that. That looks the part, doesn't it? For anybody wondering, this here doesn't hit it anywhere. Okay? That goes free through the motions on that. Doesn't bottom out. I took that in consideration. I just wanted to seal that section off because if I've ever had a fire in the trunk, it'd come up through there. Okay? I like having all this here separated from the driver's compartment. A lot of people just puts a bit of aluminum over the top of this and that's all done. And no, I like to go the extra step. I'm just trying to make this look nice. And the funniest thing about it, you'll never see any of this when I put the rear dash badness. But that's it. But you can see it there, the way it fits in there. All I did is I drilled out the holes a little bit bigger. I'm only putting small spot welds on this because all I'm doing is holding this in place. And it's not a structural piece. By no means, it's just a cover. So I'll screw this down now and I'll tap it and I'll weld them around the edges and I'll grind off the welds and that'll be done. So I'm going to get this one welded in and I'm going to go ahead and make the other side. Have it done. All welded in place. I went over here and on the same thing over here, rebuilt it. You see me putting that together. And I just went ahead and finished it right off. And that's two sides. This entire back package tray is complete. This was the big job I had left to do. There was a lot to be doing, and I'm kind of curious. Now let's start counting here. This here took how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14, okay. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then this was 22. And these side pieces took 2 pieces. 23, 24, 25, 26. So there's 26 pieces welded into this. Plus there's an abundance of holes that had to be welded up. So a lot of work. I got it done. Now it's time to move up here to the front. So here's where I'm to next. I have a regular fuse box that got to go in here. And then over here I want to have a panel where I can actually do a whole bunch of wiring. I can add to it. And if I got to add any relay boxes or run any wires or anything like that, I can go over here and I have a panel here. I can just drill and screw to all I want to, okay? That's what I want to build over there. The fuse box I got is very, very basic, okay? All I want it for is just the initial, you know, lights, horn, that type stuff, right? It hasn't got no great amount to it. So this is the box. I got to make something for this to mount to. This is all my computer stuff. I dug it all out. This is what I'm running. Just the simple little setup. I just want to size up now to see what the ECU is all about. How it mounts and whatnot. This is it here. You can see it mounts with 4 screws. And there's the lights on it. Something tells me I'm going to be mounting that somehow like this in the dash. Or underneath the bottom of the car somehow. I'm not quite sure yet, but yeah. This is it. I want to have that. I got to run probably a few relays or something. So I'm going to build something over here and something over here. Quick, simple, and easy. The main reason why I'm building a platform over here, if you're familiar with wiring up a car and working on a car and adding objects to a car, you are always drilling holes and putting screws and bolts and all that type of stuff into your cars, okay? I don't want to have a spot over here on the firewall where I can drill a hole out through the firewall and have screws sticking out on the outside, and then when he goes working on the car, you're cutting the hands off yourself. I want to build a platform over here that I can drill and put screws into, but the screws don't go outside the car. It'll be raised up about 1 inch off the actual firewall and weld it on, and then you can just do whatever you like there. So that was the reasoning behind that. And over here, I just want a simple spot where I can mount the actual fuse box without putting screws in the firewall as well. Not going to get too bored with it. Got a tab here. It's wide enough for the actual fuse box to mount down. Now I got to bend some tabs on it. I got it like, I just took a random thing I had here, which is a ruler, and I just marked it off. So I got bends put in that there now. And the reason why I got this one here, this is going to be a small bend. I'll show you what I'm going to do here now. I'll get this bent up and I'll show you what I bends up. There you have it. Simple little fuse box mount. I got this beveled here, so there's room for the wires behind it. It mounts there, and this will be welded on here and welded on here. That way I got no worries about screws coming out into the firewall, okay? Out in the engine bay. Get this mounted. There it is, bolted in place. If I wanted to, I can move these here to the inside as well. I got room on the inside. I wanted to be able, the bottom of the dash comes to here. I want to be able to easily see these. So I can open the door here, I can look in through here, and I can actually see the fuse panel. I don't want to go making this, like I told you, I want to be able to do maintenance on this very simple. So if I got an issue, I want to be able to get at it. And I want to hide this and shove it up underneath the dash and have it where I can't see it and whatnot. I don't mind seeing the fuse box because it's one of those things that every time it has an issue, you're always trying to decipher problems, and the easier you can get at this stuff, the better it is. Anyway, got that done. Move on to the next one. Here now, figuring out the panel to put underneath the dash. And what I got is this here. This is the most that I can get. This is the biggest piece I got, and I only want to go over the wheel tub. I was hoping to have it a bit taller, but is it all you can do? And I'm going to fold two ends of it so I can actually weld it on, and I got something I can mount all kinds of stuff to. Not going to get carried away with it. Going to be straightforward, simple. Let's get this done. This is what I come up with. Bend over flange there, bent over flange there. Then to add some straight to the ends, I went ran that bead through the end of it. This is the way it's going to sit in the car, like this here, going up one side. Dash is about right here. This is the footboard coming down. I'll show you all that in a sec. But I was sizing it all up what way to mount it, and I said, just put it in there, because I don't know where I'm going to run and everything to, but I got something now I can mount relays to or whatever I got to put in it. So let's get this done. It's all installed. Now I can mount a bunch of wiring in there, and I can drill holes in that and mount it wherever I want. Then we're going to drill holes in the firewall. So that's another piece done. One more item. One more thing left to do, and it's these dash corners, okay? Roll cage, I cut the dash out of the way, and I hung on to the pieces. It's been a while now since I got them in it. But I got to trim them up now to fit down inside there, that I can weld it back onto the dash, okay? I've been piddling and poking at the other side and just trying to figure things out. All I did is I made a template and tucked in around here and trimmed it up, and then I laid it on top of this here, and then I marked it out and cut it out. That's all I did with it. And then I'm going to weld it in place there. This side here I got done. Not much left of it, is it? It wraps around the dash, like so. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but goes on there like that. And I got this tab on it, because I got to weld that on out here. I used to bolt on behind the door post there, the edge of the dash, but I got to weld it on. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead now and get this one welded in. I got that side all welded in. A little bit of filler on that now, a bit of satin black, that'll be brand new. Before the dash, used to bolt on in behind here, and all I did is I put that tab on it, I brought it out, and I just welded it along the edge there. That's all I did with it, and I cleaned and dressed it up. Like, it's welded in the car, so why bolt it on here? I could never figure out why they had that done, but anyway. That's the one side. Let's do the last piece now. Over there. There it is, all welded in. Last piece I put in there makes a flaw. Now I can go back and re-weld that. Not bother with it. I am done here now. I'm out here since early this morning and I haven't been in the house. I went in earlier, had a quick bite and came back out dinner time, and I'm staying out here and it's 8:30 now. So it's a late evening for me. But I got it done. It's all welded in down here. Where's he do? Here he is. It's all welded in down here. But that's it for that. Crusty is now, the main shell is completed. I got everything done that I want to get done to it. That I can go to the next stage, which is basically now what I got to do now is do the bodywork on it. I want to get this main shell painted. Right? The rear bumper, I think I'm going to remount that on the bottom side underneath. So I haven't got to get into the body on the car. I've already sized that up, so I'm going to worry about that. But, you know, I got to seam seal everything up in here. All this in here is going to have to be painted. All this out here is going to have to be body worked. All this up here is going to be body worked. So I'm pleased that I met my deadline. I got it done. I got all the bits and pieces I want to get done. All the welding is done. She's got a complete bottom inner, floors, the whole 9 yards, wheel tubs, everything's done, trunk floor, all that stuff is done. It's just a matter now of getting this to paint so I can start putting it together. It's been a long time coming. I tell you, I've been at this car a long time. And I'm here sitting down looking at the car now and thinking about how much of this car has been replaced. And just standing here looking at it, I'm willing to say that 75% of this car has been replaced. For sure. There's not a lot left. Like I kept saying, oh, around the windows is done, no, or is original. But then again, I had to weld in pieces here. Half of this cowl is welded up. Had to put this whole side on this section here. Had to put in all the window sections here. All the window sections here. All the wheel wells down here. And then you get back in here, I had to made up all this here. All that was gone. All the way around the tail panel section. From there down was gone. So a lot of work has gone into this car. But that's it. I got her to the point now where I can move on to the next stage in the build, which is bodywork and paint. Now, I've got a lot of stuff here. You've probably noticed in the background. And then I got one here behind me. Yep. I got a fair bit of work on to go here now. So the parts came in for that. so I can get back on that. The same guy owns this one over here, and I got to do work on that. I got to cut the roof off of that, change the roof on it. And this one behind me, I got a chopped roof on it. So I got some interesting stuff coming up. My plan for this is, because it's bodywork and everything, I will be doing videos on it. No one's going to sit down and watch me for 45 minutes putting filler on and sand it off. I can tell you that. I'll show you a few tricks and I'll go through the motions. I'll see how far I can get this car. I'll do work on it and do a small bit of video here. And then when I got enough to put something out, I'll put something out. Because I got to move this over on this end of the garage now. Bought a fan, so I can start doing body work and everything on it. I'll be at it. I'm going to be picking and poking at it. But in terms of here lately, all I've been doing is video after video, and it's all been crusty. So I'm going to turn around and start working on some other stuff here now. Get some other videos out on other vehicles. And I'll just start picking and poking at crusty. But we got her to final metal anyway. So anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. I hope the tips are good. And until next time.